Before you watch me dispatch this chicken, let's take it back to the start of the day in beautiful Tagaytay. Tagaytay is relatively quiet. It's full of luscious greens, it's rural, and has a lot of agricultural farmland, a stark contrast from the metroplex of Manila in which I just came from. This morning, I meet up with Tito Danny, the owner of this family farm, and actually, about 2 weeks ago, I found out he's my blood uncle. He leads me over to the chicken enclosure, large enough to hold about 100 plus chickens. At this moment, I know what I'm walking towards. My next meal. As I stare at this little chicken, I'm thinking maybe she's on the menu. But she's a little too quick. Lucky girl. Being the wonderful hosts that Tito Danny and his family are, they set aside 2 beautiful birds just for today. 1 native rooster and 1 native chicken. These birds are found only on the islands in the Philippines. These chickens are richer, leaner, and much more flavorful than any commercially available chicken. Some might describe the bird having a gamey taste. I simply say it's delicious. Being a chef in America means I'm far removed from the realities of the food chain. With the exception of the occasional mollusk, crab, or lobster, I never actually have to look at the living animal before I serve it. Today, that changes. For obvious reasons, I won't show you the butchery, but I will show you the post-mortem prep. With the head detached from the chicken, I'm going to hold it over a bowl to drain its blood. No part of the chicken is going to be wasted. Even the blood is going to be an ingredient later on in the cooking process.
Now that we got the chickens butchered, we have to go clean them, dunking them in boiling water, plucking their feathers.
Before we can pluck any feathers, I need this water scalding hot. It's not there quite yet. So in the meantime, Kuya G, the brother-in-law of Tito Danny, is going to take me over to harvest the rest of the ingredients. First up, green papaya, also known as unripened papaya. In the cooking process, it acts less like a fruit and more of a vegetable. Almost imagine like how you put potatoes in stew. That's kind of what we're doing here.
Oh, and then so what is the coming out of it? It's just the sap?
Yes.
The sap.
Washing any produce is crucial before using it. However, here I'm only worried about bugs and mud, which is really no big deal at all, and pales in comparison to what I could be getting at the supermarket. Produce that's grown with bioengineered fertilizers and sprayed with harmful chemicals and pesticides. Now Kuya takes me over to get some tanglad, also known as lemongrass, a widely beloved ingredient in Southeast Asian cooking, especially in the Philippines. When used in cooking, it gives off a wonderful fresh aroma. As for taste, it provides minty, floral notes, along with hints of lemon without the tartness. Tanglad acts as a wonderful mediator when used in a dish containing bitter, stringent ingredients. If pacifism was a plant, this would be it. This 4-leaf clover-looking plant is actually called malunggay, or moringa. The leaves offer a slightly bitter, earthy taste, but more importantly, they have a great subtle peppery kick. The ingredient I'm on my trek to now was not on the planning dock, but the best things in life are rarely planned anyway. Tita Jeanette, Tito Danny's wife, is kind enough to take me to pick some chili pepper leaves, known in Tagalog as dahon ng sili. This specific leaf is from the labuyo chili plant, a small chili pepper exclusively from the Philippines. However, it isn't native. This chili was cultivated after the Columbia Exchange, a widespread transfer of plants, animals, and go figure, diseases between the New World and the Old World. Anyways, back to the ingredient. These chili leaves are not nearly as spicy as the labuyo chili in which the plant produces, which will work perfectly with our chicken tinola. And just in time, our water is scalding hot. All the ingredients are gathered, and I can start working on the chickens. Once I dip them in and pull them out, I don't have much time to work with. Once I get to plucking, I must pluck, 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 and I cannot stop. After getting both the birds plucked, I'm going to rinse them off just to get off any remnants that might be left.
I will clean myself off as good as I can out here.
First up on the chopping block, shallots. I'm just going to go ahead and peel them and julienne them real nice. Garlic, peeled and minced. What is a Filipino dish without garlic anyway? As for the ginger, just give a quick rough chop. That's all it needs. When working with the tongue lod, go ahead, give it a quick rinse. Take each end and tie it in on itself, creating a nice knot. Onto the papaya. Slice off the exterior, chop it in half, de-seed it, and then you can slice it into bite-sized chunks. Chicken butchery. It's what I paid all that money at culinary school for. Wasting is not the name of the game here. Today, we'll be using the entire chicken. Heart, neck, gizzard, breast, tender, thigh, leg, all of it. After getting the entire chicken butchered, let's move on to cooking. Once the wok's piping hot, add your oil, ginger, and let that saute just until aromatic. Shallots and ginger in all at once. Same thing here, just until aromatic. We can place in our chicken, and we're only going to want to get a little light browning. This will help render down the fat and increase flavor development. We will be adding water to make the broth, however, no chicken bouillon will be needed. The dish is already naturally flavor intense. After adding in the water to make the broth, we can add in our papaya. Simmer it just long enough to be tender.
And the rice is added as a sort of binder, and I'll add the dugot na to the tinola.
Submerge your tongue lod in the middle of the broth, and sprinkle in just a bit of pepper. I'll add in the chili pepper leaves now, just a bit before the cooking process is fully complete. They'll take some time to tenderize. Last step, malunggay. Strip it like rosemary, drop it in. After adding in the malunggay, we're not going to want to keep simmering it for much longer, or else some of the products might become too soft. Kill the heat and take the lemongrass out. He's given us all the flavor he can give now. With everything nearly complete and time for service, let's prep some calamansi. I know we'll need it later. And finally, let's serve our gracious host and get a taste.
And it's been quite a long
delicious
process from the morning until late afternoon. And would you like to show me how you enjoy tinola? Like, would you need patis and...
Well, yeah. But let me tell you first. Usually we Filipinos really use the patis dip for this.
Okay. You just dip the chicken in, or do you put okay.
You can dip the chicken, or you can just drop a few drops of patis inside.
Okay.
You know.
So I have here it's patis and calamansi.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Yeah. So we'll try it together. Smells good.
Good. So just a bit, a few drops.
A few drops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mix.
Now, let's try it. This is so good. It's an authentic Filipino way of doing this dish. The taste is very original. And it's very good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's super. It's a really humble dish. There really isn't like much to it. But I think it's so rewarding in the end making this.
Yeah. So you see.
Now,
Very good.
thank you. Now everybody can eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can serve it for everybody now.
Yeah. I'll let others.